Hey guys, happy Sunday. I hope everybody is well. I guess I'll say safe travels to any Stamp Away friends and safe everything to anyone in Florida. I know that I heard from Judy and Dee and Debbie and a few other folks. So, anyway, if you're dealing with that hurricane, hopefully everything is good for you. Let us see who is. We're saying hello a little bit to the folks coming in. Hello, Cordelia. Hello, Brenda. Hello, Shina. Just for those folks who might be new, Shanna has a live stream that comes right after mine at, I guess, depending on what time zone you're in, it's 7:15 my time, 8:15 Central, and something else wherever you are. Lala can let us know about Philippines time, but sometime in the future, certainly. Hello, Gloria. How are you? I hope everybody is doing well. And as mentioned, hello, Lala. See if anyone else popped in. I do not think so. Everyone is saying hello, and Brenda is hoping we all stay safe. The weather in southern Wisconsin is fantastic this weekend. It is very, very summer. So if you're not having a very, very summer time, hopefully your weather will improve. Have a couple little things and a gift from a friend that I thought I would show you. No actual cards came in the mail this week, so this should be pretty quick. And then I'll show you a fun little project that we can get into. I liked my big cat die so much, and I had the sentiments already. So I got the kitten one, which makes this sort of fun little hanging off a banner kitten, and also the sort of a sitting pretty kitten. As you can see, actually, let me grab it quick. So for size comparison, like this is the big cat, this is the kitten. So the kitten is much more of a like A2 focal point kind of thing. So just this card I need to pop in the mail to a friend of mine who is recovering. So that one will be going out soon. But I wanted to pick up the kitten because I like kittens. I'm sure that's not news to anybody. But the stamp set that goes with these, it's neat that you have the banner version and the non-banner version. But there are a couple sentiments that stamp right here. There's Hang in there, and there's a couple more, I think. See if I am missing anything. It is. There are also pugs in the set that I ignore entirely, but if you are a pug-loving person, you would probably be interested in that as well. So that's the first thing I got. Let me see. Oh, thanks, Lola. I like it as well. Yeah, I like the idea of a kitten. I mean, anyone who's had a kitten will realize that, like the kitten hanging off something isn't unusual. I have those like honeycomb shades in my house, and had to replace them after the kittens were kittens because they found it fun to like just shred them. And then there was the time that Lennox of Stream fame, although he's somewhere napping at the moment, he thought it'd be fun to just unroll a whole thing of toilet paper in my bathroom. So there was all that. Let us see. Oh, they lay around on top of them. Oh, that's pretty cute. That actually makes sense, though, right? Because you'd have this as sort of your base layer, and then this one. That's kind of nice too, so that if you had to stamp a bunch of these, you'd have sort of some insurance. Thanks, Shanna. I know that you've played with these die sets more extensively than I have. What else will I mention about that? Oh, and if you after the stream concludes, I just redirect to Shannon's stream. So whether or not she started or not doesn't really matter. Then I have a very pink package. Sort of for fun, sort of for a secret project later in this month, but I picked up some more Pink and Main stuff. As per their usual, it comes wrapped in their very pink paper. You know, this is a specific character. It is a bear in a sundress. So I don't know if folks are more familiar with the Pink and Main branding than I am. I do not recognize it as a character, but he, she, or they may be a character. Guess we'll just not know what our bear-related pronouns are. Oh, what did these? So they did ephemera, which if you've been hanging out for a while, you know I'm kind of ephemera obsessed. This is all fall related. Let us open up this paper because I want to see what it looks like. Oh, there's cuteness on the back. Let's hopefully not maim ourselves trying to open paper. Wouldn't be the first time, but see, and they say that it coordinates with this ephemera. How delightful. Some nice plaids. Ooh, I like this. This is very reminiscent of a Spellbinders paper I really, really like from the. Was it from the Time Offline kit? It was from one of their kits, but they had a leaf one that was foiled. These papers are not foiled. It's a nice wood grain, which is a great, just general falliness thing. The ephemera, I believe, comes with some of these like faux wood slices, so there's that. Pink and Maine was sort of their traditional zigzag paper that I'm kind of obsessed with. And then, ooh, that's pretty. Really nice shading on these acorns. Let me try and get, there we go. Now we're in focus. Oh, hey, Belle. How are you? Welcome, welcome. And then we repeat. We have a lot of, it's a lot of falliness, which we'll eventually get into. And my mother is not ready for Christmas cards yet. I am not quite ready for fall because it is 90 degrees outside right now, but fall will at some point happen. But let's take a look at what we get. Now, we get a lot of ephemera. This is sort of your usual, I forget the specific price point, but somewhere in the neighborhood of the paper. So like $8, I think. These are these are more rigid these are thicker than the Spellbinders ephemera, if you're familiar with that. I will say that is more like paper. This is slightly more like cardstock. We have a lot of very cute critters. Ooh, I see in sentiment, which is nice. Often these packs don't come with sentiments, which is kind of a bummer. But I just dropped a sentiment on the floor. Happy fall. A lot of, and oh, this is interesting. So we have our planks and our sentiments. So we could probably do some fun little layering things. This says sending warm hugs. All the hugs this time of year are warm when it is 90 out. Anyway, I'll stop complaining about the weather. Well, the summeriness of it all, because I'm sure, like, if you live in an actual summer climate, you're like, no, it could be worse. Anyway, so that's basically what we have. Pretty soft kind of watercolor look to these that I like quite a bit. You know, like everything else, when you buy it online, you never quite know what it's going to look like when you get it home. But I think we're going to have some fun doing some card series with these. So those two things were things I bought for me because clearly I don't have enough paper or ephemera. Because somehow I don't have enough dies or ephemera. We'll work that out later. This is a gift from my friend Ron, which he sent gifts to some members of the Sharing Our Love. I forget what we are. We are a sort of an idea group. Oh, these are neat. So these are magnets, and they're diamond painting magnets. I guess I should say, for the uninitiated. So these little letters you see that aren't going to probably focus very well or basically indicate what color you want to use. And then these are your standard sort of fridge magnet. So it's nice. These are quite thin. So you could use these as a magnet. I think this would be fantastic if you diamond painted them. And my friend wondered if they could be used for cards. I think you could definitely use them. What would be interesting is if you use some sort, like if you did a wrapped cover for like a mini album or something and put metal in it, these would probably stick to that. So they'd be very neat for that. Oh, hey, Danny, how are you? No, you can't. Well, you can have enough of a specific paper, but I don't know that you can have enough paper plural. Anyway, these are really cute. Hey, Alyssa, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Everybody, the gang is all here today. I was curious because I knew a lot of folks were traveling for Stamp Away. Anyway, these are video game characters. Sonic, a really good representation. These came from Amazon. I'm assuming your usual semi-unlicensed characters, but if you care about that sort of thing. But anyway, really good in Mario and Yoshi as well. It's kind of clever because like it would be hard to do Mario's eyes, so those were omitted. Really smart decisions. Anyway, if you're unfamiliar with these, the layer that's reflecting here is basically just a cover sheet. If you pull it back, there is glue and or some other kind of double-sided adhesive, and of course our buddy Pikachu. This one I won't be giving away because I like it. Also, I won't be giving away Spider-Man because I like Spider-Man. I have a friend who really likes Eeyore, so this one might actually go on a gift. And then our buddy Grogu. I do have a coworker who's obsessed with Baby Yoda. I did actually make him a Baby Yoda mini album, so I might need to do something with that. Oh, that's a good idea. Because I mean, like, if you have the adhesive magnet stuff, the I forget who makes it. I feel like it's almost like an office supply product. It's adhesive magnets that you can cut essentially, like these where they're thin enough. And we have Winnie the Pooh. Someone I knew was like very Winnie the Pooh obsessed. There's actually now that speaking of paper that we haven't bought but might need, we have our Mickey. Not familiar with this character. I'll have to Google him or her. And then this is Patrick from SpongeBob. This might be a SpongeBob character. I don't believe it's a Disney character. It's like a little superhero dude. Mini Iron Man, maybe? Appears to have an emblem. He looks like the Flash. His like emblem looks like the Flash, but it's a very like chibi style Flash, if that's the case. Anyway. Yeah, what was I saying about Winnie the Pooh? Oh yeah, so last year Echo Park did a Winnie the Pooh collection, and this year they have a Winnie the Pooh Christmas that I might buy in my quest to own all the paper in the world. So I guess just for the uninitiated, every diamond painting anything comes with one of these little kits. They come with depending on which one you get, they come with a little boat thingy with your diamonds, which also for the uninitiated are like, they're essentially enamel dots with no adhesive on them. And then the adhesive is on these things, so you stick them and then you're done. And it's a really cool look when you're done. Anyway, so you get a pen, which you use to place the diamonds. Because that sounds better than bits of plastic. Some little baggies to store these once you open them up, and some wax to use in the tip of your pen to make it slightly sticky. There are also a bunch of aftermarket pens. I really got into the idea of diamond painting. I have a lot of custom diamond painting pens. This will be a great use to try them out on a live stream at some point. And then you have all of your actual diamonds bagged up. As you can see, if you're really noticeable, you'll notice that these look very much like nail gems, and I believe that's where they actually originated. Anyway, let's see if we can't. Oh, we can't open these up. I'm not going to like open them up, but these diamond painting drills actually are, or diamonds or whatever you choose to call them, are actually very good for any crafts, really. Because all you need to do is apply the adhesive. And what they will do, these are all the same colors. As you can see, they provide different amounts of different colors. And there are a whole bunch of them. So typically what you'll do is get them out of these bags and then kit them up into something like a bead storage tray or little baggies to save yourself from going nuts later. And then you'll work using one color at a time to get those onto, sorry if you hate crinkly plastic. This is a very kind of crinkly plastic process for the next 5 seconds. Anyway, that is diamond painting. If you haven't run into it, it experienced a huge, like I got into it before the pandemic, and during the pandemic, it experienced a huge surge in popularity, which has thus faded, much like lots of other at-home crafts. But These are going to be fun to play with. The nice thing about the stickers or the magnets is, as you can see, they're small. So they're a pretty doable, like, sub an hour project. Pooh's a good example. Like, he's basically got 3 colors. He's got sort of his bear color, his red shirt, and his eyes and nose. So, again, same for Mickey. We're not dealing with like 37 colors. So anyway, that will be a fun project for a stream to come. Thank you, Ron. It is a very thoughtful. And I think it would be neat to use the magnets generally. It would be neat to use these on like the cover of a mini album where like the magnet itself was removable. So I may play around with that as an idea because I think it'd be kind of fun. Hello, Annie. How are you? Annie is probably one of our resident diamond painting experts in terms of how to do it. So I may bother you later. But anyway, I've done stickers in the past. I guess my only tip is you need a way to like organize all these little drills so that you don't lose your mind. I personally like bead storage, so I have to figure out where I put my bead storage thing and hope I didn't throw it out in the reorg. But even if I did, they're very inexpensive at Michael's. See what I am missing. Everybody is saying hello. She's Diamond in a Ruffle. I'm not familiar with her. I was really into, I think her name is Mrs. Coffee, who's affiliated with Diamond Art Club and does a lot of our unboxings. She's kind of a quirky person if you like quirky people, but there are a lot of quirky diamond painters. CETA is craft every day in April or August or any month ending in an A. It is Mommy Guide Inc.'s daily live streaming series, which is kind of fun. As you probably know, I live stream in December a lot. I do live stream a lot generally, but I do live stream in December quite a bit. If you caught my shorts, we are doing a version of this card tonight. And this derives from, hopefully I won't get shot for showing a printable on, I won't show the printable, but I never know which of from the December 2023 sheetload of cards, the original sketch looks like this. If you want one, check out Call Me Crafty Al's channel. I will dig up the link to it. Anyway, I made a whole bunch of these hello cards. And I like this sort of, it's almost a split panel because you have this sort of, it feels very much like a split panel card because you have this sort of empty space where you see the card base. These I made for my friend Ron's charity. They say thanks for your donation on the inside. The whole thing is very navy and yellow, and the paper is from not too shabby, from whatever it's called. I have it right here. On the Sunny Side, which has a bunch of sun-themed everything. Anyway, and it does have these cut-aparts, which I have not used yet. I really like this sun cut-apart, but not used. These are all basically the sun-dominant patterns, but they do have some like ice cream and bananas and other yellow-themed things. It's a very yellow-themed pad, if that's your vibe. Pick it up from Jamie's shop, if it is your thing. Anyway, so that's basically what we're making. We're going to make one that looks like this because I need one for a swap, and then we're going to make one that doesn't look like that because I need it for myself, because let me just pull the pieces out here quick, but because of all the wonderful things he does, I picked up, if I can find it and didn't lose it, hopefully I didn't lose it in the 4 seconds before I went live, but I picked up a new stamp I wanted to play with. Oh, here it is. So, as you might know, CC Designs does all these Swissies, but I've never seen a dude Swissy, so I had to buy it. So my thought is, rather than an hello, we can just punch out the circle, put this dude's head on it, and hopefully not chop his head off. The other option is, if it looks like that's not going to work, we could just use a circle. We could use a circle and then just put him over the top of the whole thing. Or we could just use some of these sentiments. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it gets us. But I will definitely show you how these cards are supposed to go together. And then I will show you whatever we come up with. So there are 3 pieces and some mats, as you might imagine. And we will basically the 2 pieces that sort of form a split panel need to match and the other ones don't. So we have suns, we have the yellow glitter, which we will set aside for a second. And then we have these 2 guys. This goes here. See, wherever I put all my other ones, I might actually be short a piece. I don't know. I'm not short. I've just disorganized. Okay. And these are just standard top folding A2 card bases. You get the gist. The thing I do like about this particular design, and I guess about using these colored card bases anyway, is that when you put this extra piece on here, it really stiffens up your card base. So, like, this is really it gives it more weight than it would have otherwise. So, I'm becoming kind of a fan of that general design. Anyway, let's put together one. Normally, let me see if I am missing your lovely thoughts. I agree this paper is cute. Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong comment. There we go. It's very happy summery, if that's your vibe, and that's totally the vibe outside today. It's like 88, it's not that humid, very sunny. This, I think I still have it. Do I have it in arm's reach? Let me grab it. It is from the Sunny Lane stamp set from scrapbook.com that I think is freaking fantastic. If I can find it. Where did I put it? We don't know. It should be somewhere because I was just stamping with it. I'm not sure where it is. Let me check one more place. I'm not sure. It'll show up after the live stream. Anyway, it's a really nice stamp set. It's very building themed. Like the whole Sunny Lane vibe is like houses essentially. But it has a lot of good. It has a lot of good sentiments. It also has. Hey, Gloria, how are you? It has. Dang, I wish I could find it. It has sort of like 60s and 70s fonts. I must have put it somewhere close at hand. Let me just double check that it's not somewhere obvious. But it has some great like 60s and 70s fonts, which is why I got it initially. Well, that's kind of a lie. I got it because it was part of a really cool bundle from scrapbook.com and came with some dies and paper and other stuff. Not dies that coordinate with the stamp set, but like word dies that are sort of related but not the same. Anyway, great stamp set. I think it's still for sale. I don't know you'll have to let me know. I don't know if scrapbook.com does like international shipping that's not super expensive. Anyway, I'm just going to put the things that look like they should go on their matting layers on their matting layers. And I will see what y'all are chatting about. But I keep wanting to buy the dies that match that sentiment. But I also kind of feel like I don't know how often I'm going to use a house die. So I don't know. It's sort of in that realm of I would really like it, but I'd really like it at a really good discount or, but I don't know. I'm sure it's one of those things that will jump into my cart some year. Or it'll be on clearance and I'll pick it up. This pattern is very indicative of a couple other not too shabby patterns because you see you have sort of your triangle pieces, I typically try and look for the sunglasses because they're easier to tell what the upside is. And there is pink glitter on the back. So if you wanted to just do this in pink glitter, you could do that. Whoops. I'm going to attach all of these to their layers to start with, just because we know that's where we're going. And I'm not going to get into a coloring coma if I do it that way. We are likely to. If anyone has thoughts, if you want to do the triangle pattern or the sun pattern first, feel free to let me know. It is such a crime to use Jamie's paper because look how cute this sunglasses pattern is. Anyway, I was primarily doing these as mentioned for Soul, so they have a sun as their logo. So I picked by design the sun theme things, but I really like both sides of this. And we could actually do it this way. Maybe I'll do the sunglasses side here because this sort of this sort of middle piece doesn't really need to match. Oh, thanks, yes. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. I hope your eye is healing. I think this would be kind of cute. Like if you did these. If you sort of did it like this, like I think that would be kind of fun. It's interesting. When I was doing the original run of cards, as you probably noticed, the original sketch uses different papers. But if you do it all in the same paper, it actually looks really good because it really makes this sort of center focal point more of the point of the card. Anyway, so that was kind of a happy accident. This is, as you probably could guess, cut out of 6x6 sheets. So for 4 cards, you use 2 sheets of pattern paper, so it's a really good scrap buster too. Because I always find that I get through a season and then I have stuff left over. Anyway, so now we have our card base, and let us. I think we'll do these 3. Let's do these 3 as the original design to show you how that goes together. Which is probably exactly how you think. You know, you basically just glue it down. I really like, whenever I'm doing mask making, I really like dry adhesive just because it has no dry time, so I don't have to be quite as careful with it. Also, when attaching to this, by default, this is about an 80-pound cardstock. So, like if I'm putting my first layer on, sometimes I'll do that with tape as well. Just to prevent it from warping. And I'm just going to sort of balance my 3 sides and be good to go. Hey, Don, how are you? Welcome, welcome. I also, for like cards like this that have a lot of matte layers, I really do like thinner paper. This is actually this purple paper is actually Hobby Lobby paper, and probably sits at about a 50-pound kind of paper, which worked out really great for this. Anyway, so once I tend to just figure out what my spacing is by just sort of dry fitting stuff, and then I didn't really worry about what this space is because I'm getting covered up with stuff. You can of course move this piece up and down. I did have a leftover Hello Sunshine, so like if you wanted to have more space at the top, you could put it here and then do something up here. Certainly, sort of as designed, it's all sort of in the center, which is totally fine. You could also add bling to this if you desire. And for this one, I'm just going to put tape on the edges, because I know I'm going to not have any support in the middle because of this gap. I could actually build this up if I wanted to, but it's not really necessary. Then I'm just going to, once again, just try and balance this piece. It's really handy when your paper has So, like, because of these triangles, we basically have a bunch of horizontal lines, so that makes this pretty easy to set up. I'm just going to do it here, and that's a little too far over. So I'm just trying to balance the space here, and then make this relatively straight. And then for this guy, I'm going to not lose the cap to my glue, but I'm going to do the same thing with glue and just put a little glue on each side. And all you really have to do is, you can do this two ways. You could put the right against the pattern paper, or you can follow the original sketch where you just sort of center it. Here, there's a very interesting vehicle that just went by. So that's basically how these go together. And to reinforce the inside, I'm just going to grab a sort of your standard 4.5 by 5.25 mat. This is optional. Obviously, with yellow, you could probably write on this without too much trouble. But I really like adding. I like the look of this writing area on the inside being just a little bit more finished. We aren't really doing anything with this, but if you do want to do the watermark stamp that I've done on other projects, this would be a time that you could do that as well. And there we go. That's same thing. Really easy card to pull together. I do love these sheet loads that are very much themed around the 6x6 paper. Anyway, what I was thinking is that we have an extra Hello Sunshine. So I was curious how this little guy looks if I'm going to cut off his head by using him. No, his head fits pretty nicely on here. Well, that's good news. We kind of lose his body, but I'm okay with that. Like, I kind of like this, like, we might want to do an actual sentiment strip on here. And I'm thinking if we do that, we could either put it like across the top here or somewhere else. Anyway, this one is pre-stamped, but because I had a couple extras, but I'm just going to stamp on the other side and then color it. Because stamp wheels are awesome for that. Let me see. Hey, Melissa, how are you? Oh, how was your shopping trip, Ron? And I guess I should say, this month, I do have all of these. Oh, we haven't heard how the shopping trip is. I do have all these events on both Thursdays and Sundays built in StreamYard. So if anyone ever is in the mood to craft along or come up or do all those things, just drop me a message sometime before right now. So I'm going to just try to be a little careful and line this up. I do like these little dotty things in here for lining stuff up. As you can see, my mat is getting stained from use, but it's a tool, and that's kind of the point. So what I'm going to do is grab our little dude, and I really want his face kind of centered. I think we're going to get some of his collar, but I don't really want his hair cut off. The other thing you could do is cut the whole thing, do the whole thing, cut it out, and then just like put him over the top of the actual semicircle, right? You could do that, and that would be easier. Yes, Bella is the czar of thank yous now, I believe. Or, yes, or something like that. Some sort of, hey, Delise, how are you? I'm finally playing with my Assisi Design stamps. Where did I put my little thing? You could also obviously just make a bigger size sun here. Because this thing is just this is just a circle with 3/4 of an inch chopped off of it. So we could do that. And we'll hopefully color. I'm doing this in Memento because I'm probably going to be lazy and quick color with my alcohol inks. I'm not sure if this is taking ink particularly well because it's a brand new stamp. So we may be doing it twice. Well, that looks better than I thought it would. Yeah, that looks cool. I like this. I'd like it if this was slightly bigger, but I do like how this looks, so that's good. Like this is a 2.5-inch circle. I think if you did a 3-inch circle and then did the same process, you'd get more of a our dude. So it would be more clear that he's a gamer dude. Did I just misstamp him? No, he's wearing. So it looks like I misstamped him here, but he's actually just wearing headphones. So that's good. I think I will likely, because he won't have a sentiment, I'm thinking that I may use one of these. One says play, eat, chill, repeat, which I do like. The skinny one is I'll pause my game for you. Oh, I do like that. Like if we did the skinny one on like and then put it on this like here in the middle, I think that would look cool. Maybe we should do that while I'm thinking of it. And grab the best Poke tool ever from our friend Gloria Wolf in chat. If you need a Poke tool, go bother her. And that's what our dude looks like. And these are headphones. If you do the whole guy, the guy is really cute. I don't know if I probably should like say, does the gamer dude have a name? No, it just says Teen Swissy. I mean that is you know what I mean. Like the name of the stamp is Teen Swissy, but like the character does not appear to have a name. Goodness, we are having slightly a struggle bus, but that's okay. Do I have white? I do. How do I not have white? Oh, I have. I want different white. Un momento. You kind of know that you're a card maker when you're like cranky about like what specifically which white cardstock you want to use for something. And I think we want 1/2 inch of this, and then I don't know. I guess we could do. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then maybe by 3, because I believe that. Yeah, the piece we're gonna cover up is 3. Well, not really cover up, but anyway, we can just grab one of our example cards. You guys are talking about things found on Amazon. So this is kind of what it's going to look like, and I think that'll look great. Let me get rid of my memento and find an open VersaFine Clair. What color do we want? Probably black, because this is kind of a small stamp. So we're at the second row here, so that hopefully we can line this up a little more easily. Here's hoping this fits. Oh yeah, that'll fit. There we go. And because this is new, these are super sticky. So again, the Poke tool is your friend if you are having issues trying to get a new sentiment lined up. Once it's stuck to something like this, you're going to be doing just fine. It really doesn't matter if we stamp this upside down or not, so I was not super particular about that. There we go. And I even have it right side up. That's unusual. And generally with sentiments, I try not to put much pressure. Like it looks like I'm bearing down with my fist, but I actually am not. And that looks fantastic. So sometimes things work the first time, which is always nice. The added benefit to working on all this stuff is we're also letting the ink on our little dude dry, which will likely serve us well in about 5 minutes. Because one of the things about alcohol ink coloring is you really want your black ink to be dry. This is Memento is one of my favorite inks for alcohol ink coloring. I still think the Ink on 3 Blackout is my favorite one just because it is really idiot proof because it's everything proof. And the owner has a really cool name, which I guess doesn't really impact the quality of the product at all, but I just kind of think it's very cool to me. Anywho, now we can start thinking about, well, we could probably do our coloring. Now, let's find a good face color. I'm looking for a light pink, basically. Now, if you didn't want to do, now I'm looking at my tri-blends. If you didn't want to do like an actual pink, so like the tri-blend flesh colors are very pink. You could also go with sort of a Copic or a Hoo and sort of an E color scheme, which is sort of essentially a light brown. Anyway, so I'm going to color his face, and I'm going to look at the stamp to figure out what kind of clothing we have here. We can't really tell. It's basically, so this is his hand, and this is his neck. So we're not really seeing, but this little piece here is his hand, basically, holding the pizza. This little bit here is pizza, but I'm not going to really bother differentiating it just because it's so tiny, but he is, in fact, holding pizza. But per my usual, I like to color the skin tone and then color. I like to color the skin tone, then I like to color the hair. And the hair should be blue if possible. Now, in this particular composition, blue makes sense because it always makes sense. Just kidding. In this particular composition, blue actually kind of makes sense because we have this whole yellow navy thing going on. Although since we don't really have any navy in this particular version, so if we want to not do navy, that is also an option. And I'm just doing a second layer sort of around the edges and especially around sort of where his hair is. The neat thing about this stamp, let me close my marker for a second and say, like, we have a lot of textural, like a lot of shadow built into the hair itself. So it's going to look pretty good. Let's just do his hand while we're here. Then what I'm going to want to do is try and find a brown to do the pizza crust. This is the earth browns. Just going to do that like that. And then maybe grab, I don't really want any pink, but I want sort of a lighter color for to sort of signify the cheese. There we go. This is our gold brown blend, so I'm just going to go and do a little bit of that. Now, you can hardly see it, so I don't know that anyone will actually care. Let me bring this up to camera just so you can see where we're going before we figure out which color teal we want for his hair. But here you go. So as you can see, this is holding a little piece of pizza. And the way this will work out is he'll be hanging out like this once we figure out what kind of hair color we want. And then we'll put our sentiment here. And we can decide if we like the white background. I like spotlighting him a little bit, but I kind of want to bring in a little bit of yellow. Because the card really is pretty much monochromatically yellow. We could do pink hair. Just saying. I am a fan of all the unnatural hair colors one can find. See you, Ron. But it wouldn't be my channel if we didn't do teal hair. So let's see if we can't find a teal tri-blend and do some teal hair. Oh, and here we go. This is technically jade green, but do I want green? I kind of want more of a blue. These are... Oh, this is a very blue. Aqua blue. Except I don't think it's open. Let me see if we can't get this off. I don't know how I still have markers that are unopened. I guess because I like some of my markers I opened like when I got them, and other ones I've just opened as I've needed them. Spoiler, I might have bought more markers. So I'm going to go in. These are the deep blends, so I'm going to go in and just sort of reinforce these shadow lines. Let me see if we can't go. Yeah. So you can see we've got sort of these edge lines and these shadow lines, and I'd like to just kind of come in here and reinforce them a little bit. Then I'm going to do most of his hair in the lighter color, and we'll see how it works. But that's kind of the nice thing about any of these stamps that have these shadow lines. You can just follow them, and it makes it look like you know what you're doing. Now, the other sort of approach would be to find a reference photo of a dude or a non-dude who has sort of curly hair. And what you could actually do is take a look at how the hair texture worked and the shading and all that stuff. Hey Martisa, how are you? We're very zoomed in to look at coloring, but we will be zooming out later to look at the rest of everything. And I guess from a material standpoint, the interesting thing to appreciate with these alcohol markers is that similar to watercolors, they're a very translucent medium. So you're going to see colors through other colors. So a lot of the blending that is sort of the rage is really more like what you get in like watercolor landscapes, where you're really just looking at the translucency of the actual medium. But that's a lot different than most of what we see, especially pigments, where, you basically are looking at an opaque color. I'm trying to sort of do a little bit. Some areas I'm filling in, others I'm just sort of, and you see how much pinker his face looks next to the blue. This is one of the weird things about colors, is that depending on what colors are next to colors, it will change things up a little bit. But I do think I want to edge this a little bit in the yellow ink. So let me do that first and then decide if I want to knock down. Well, there's a couple different ways I could knock down the pinkness of the face here. One is to not wait until the whole card is together, which is I would say this where your smart money is, because you're not going to necessarily know looking at a single element if it's a little much or not. The other one is you could just leverage your material basically and just layer over a neutral, and that will knock down the pink quite a bit. So if anyone has strong feelings, I'm planning probably to just leave it because I kind of think it's going to look good with everything else. let me just zoom you out quickly. Whoop, see my shorts. Anyway, so let's get this together and see how we like it. Because we already put our other pieces together, and we are doing pretty all right on time. See if I'm missing anything from you guys. Yeah, I agree, Don. It's one of my favorites. I especially like yellow. This is a shade more muted, but like a very or something that's a little more yellow. So like a true vibrant yellow, like this and navy together is one of my favorite color schemes. So we're just going to do what we did before, which is figuring out where our borders are and eyeballing it. I think we've talked about this before, but if you get either a sewing or a crafting ruler that has the little eighth of an inch squares on it, you can use that to do an exact alignment. If you're an exact alignment person, I am not, but it really just depends what you like. And then for this one, I'm trying to basically mirror whatever I did on the first piece, because even if this this worked out pretty nicely. Even if it looked kind of wonky, I would probably want to. Oh, I think this is going to be fun, because then we're going to have we can then have our sentiment. We can just cover one of these rows of sunglasses. That's going to be fun. Okay. Let me just get most of this in place. I think we want to go, maybe let's just cover the one row of the sun's sunglasses. If you don't push this double-sided tape down all the way, you have some play around with how stuff is laying. But then once you do, it's pretty much good to go. That is the thing I like about double-sided tape, is that it is pretty much no dry time. Anyway, let's not glue this on upside down. But I think what I want to do is just put this here, so we don't really have like extra pieces. And then I think this will work. I like the pink. It really draws your eye in. So I like where this is going. So this is the reason to not. If you color your elements separately, so you can then go back and change the color if you decide you want it to be different. That is, I think, always a good option. It is. I forget whose tip this is, but if you're a beginning stamper, like always stamp all your stuff separately and then assemble it, and you'll have a lot less. Oops, I put the sentiment on the card upside down issues. I am pretty sure I have shared that tip in the past, because it is not my tip. There we go. And as you may have noticed, we have made our card upside down. So I may do some surgery on this later, or leave it upside down. I have a few friends who like the upside down cards, but it's not the end of the world. There's two ways you can fix this. One is I can cut this whole panel off and just stick it on another card base, and that'll be totally fine. The other one is you can cut where this score line is, and you can just put another hinge in there. We've done hinges before, so I won't belabor that now, since I know Shannon's going on in 5 or so minutes. But what you can do is just fold about like a half-inch strip in half lengthwise, and then just glue that in. And that works too. Especially if you have scrap from your card bases left over, no one will know. Or they'll think it's like an additional fun little thing. Oh, thanks. Yeah, so the story about the new photo is that it's really Lala's idea. We'll give credit where credit is due. And she said, you know, now that you're doing things that are being marketed as classes, you should probably look into getting a more professional headshot, which was a good call. And luckily, the company I work um, for a while has been offering them as sort of a free service to interns through our, which I am not obviously, but um, through some of the intern groups, just because like if you're looking at 5 million people's resumes, it actually matters. Unfortunately, I mean, I would be the first person to say it shouldn't, but people make opinion. People start forming opinions very quickly. So I mean, it's silly to have like you in your college dorm photo holding you back. Anyway, I wound up doing that last week, and I got a plethora of photos, and most of them came out fantastic. Um, but kudos to my friend at work who was able to do that because um, I think, like everything else, photography is one of those things that is a combination of like understanding the technique, but also just like developing your eye through a whole bunch of practice. So anyway, these are the two cards we made. I actually think this one's really fun. So I am happy with how this came out, and I will flip it at another time. Well, I'll share this with you, Shanna. It's not that there's one good shot. It's just that you take 50 of them and then you look at your top one. That was a piece of photography advice from my dad, which is like don't belabor taking a single photo, just take a whole bunch of them, and like then you're then through what is the phrase I heard for it recently in a YouTube video on a different thing. um that consistency trumps luck, in the sense of if you just do something enough, you're going to get pretty good at it. But anyway, bye Danny. That is pretty much all I have for you today. I think I will next see you Thursday. There is no designated guest this week, so we'll be working on something once I figure out what we're doing. And then Sunday we will be back here. The next week we'll be reuniting with Delise and Gaz for something or other that we will be doing together that I'm sure will be quite silly and a lot of fun. And then the week after that, we will not have a live here, but I will be live over on Lala's channel, and we will be doing a project we've been talking about forever, at least a year, which is sort of approaches to making your own advent calendar. It was a thing I wanted to make a challenge on, and then like logic prevailed, and people were like, "Yeah, like advent calendars are a huge pain," and they are, because you're basically needing to do something somewhere between, I don't know, 12 and 25 times. So anyway, thanks, Yvette. So that I hope you all have a good evening. We have 15 minutes to grab snacks, use the bathroom, and do all that stuff. And this should redirect you to Shanna's channel. So feel free to hang out in there, and then she'll be live fairly shortly. So great to see you guys. Hope you have a fantastic week. Happy summer and all that good stuff. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you in Shanna's chat.